Hey, I just wanted to make a video going over artfight this year. This is my first year I did artfight, and I've been making a bunch of art in the background, and my phone makes time lapses of them, so I figured I'd post them and talk about them. So this is the first artfight attack I did this year, and it's Domino, which is my friend Byler's character. He's literally just a Dalmatian. He's really cute, so I chose to do him first. This year, or not this year, what am I saying? I wanted to do characters floating because I think it sort of helps with like anatomy and drawing. You don't have to like think about the way that they interact with the ground, if that makes sense. It's kind of like in physics when you do like a physics problem and they say, well, just don't worry about friction. I feel like if you draw a character floating, it's just a little bit easier to do it. I really like how this piece turned out because I think it kind of looks like sidewalk chalk a little bit. I was doing it on my phone, and I haven't really figured out the app so much that I use for drawing on my phone. Um, and so I just kind of chose a random brush and went with it, and I think it turned out really cool. I think there's like inconsistent coloring in the background. It looks a little janky and weird, but some context, I was also doing this drawing alongside some of my younger cousins during a family reunion this year, and they were kind of giving me suggestions about how I should color things and what I should put in the background, so I think it gave it a little bit of a childlike vibe unintentionally, and I really like it. It really looks like sidewalk chalk to me, and I think that the style looks super cute. Okay, so the next piece I did, I don't, this is just a random character I sort of just chose from like the search feature. I don't remember what their name is, but I really loved their coloring and design, so I went with it. This is like the floating thing that I was talking about earlier, drawing characters floating. I don't know why it all stopped there for a second, but okay, now it's going. Yeah, it's just like, hey, look, they're falling, so you don't really have to worry so much about the way they interact with the ground. It's just kind of like anatomy only. I really love, I kind of figured out like lineless, like just coloring in and then turning the lines off, and I really love, like, it's hanging right here, you can see there's like no actual line art. I really like the way that this looks. And I think that I kind of carried that along with me a little bit through this month as I was drawing, realizing that I really like that vibe. But yeah, I titled this piece The Fall of Icarus. I thought it was kind of funny because it's like a little bat cat with wings, and so, you know, maybe it's like falling out of the sky because of its hubris or something. Yeah, I really dig a storyline, and a lot of my drawings are like, oh, ooh, what is their lore and what would they be doing? I love that shit so much. I'm not sure why the time lapse is being the way that it's being and it's not actually drawing right now. I don't know. Oh, there it goes. But yeah, this is my first year I'd ever did art fight. I like knew about it before and had been like sort of tangentially aware of like artists that I liked being like, ooh, I'm posting a lot of art this month and here's an attack for so and so. But I'd never felt confident enough or like had a community where like I knew other people that were doing it. But like this year I knew a ton of people who were doing it. I was able to attack all of them. I set a goal for myself of 10 drawings, and I got 11 done. I guess the month is technically not over, but I'm definitely tired and I don't think I'm going to do any more. I've attacked everyone I want to attack. Okay, so for this piece, I was kind of confused. I looked at the character and I was like, well, that's a simple character, like that'll be easy. And I think that actually when a character has a simpler design, I actually struggle quite a bit with figuring out how to make it look cool and not like so simplistic. Like I really dig, you know, shading something up real heavy, but I think I struggled a lot with making this like kind of my own style and giving it that level of detail just because like the rough sheet is sort of simple, which is like not a problem. I think it's just like a personal failing and sort of trying to figure out my own style and kind of making assumptions about how a character would look in a higher level of detail and like where that shading would be and stuff. Like I just don't know. Anyway, so this character, I was kind of reading the bio that this person like made for them, and it was like the premise is it's sort of like a time traveler with angst, you know, like trying to, I don't actually remember exactly what it was, but basically angsty time traveler, and a big thing about them is they have this like clock or this like pocket watch thing. So I thought it would be cool. I found that ref on Pinterest. You probably saw it earlier. I thought it would be cool for them to be like reaching for their tool or the time traveling device. Like maybe this is like a pivotal moment where they're like getting it for the first time or something like that. But yeah, I am not super happy with how it turned out. Okay, so this is Jasper. My friend Jasper has this character. It's a snow leopard. I really love it. I love him. But yeah, I kind of wanted to work a little bit more on anatomy. Still doing that like floating idea to like make things easier. So I sort of traced out the general shape of my reference image this time because I really wanted to focus on like making it accurate or like making it look really good. But then I went back over it and gave it more of like an actual animalistic shape because that woman is not that woman is not a cat. Yeah. So I kind of just like using the things I had learned so far about the app that I use on my phone. I'm using like a specific brush for sketching and then like a specific brush for like filling things in. I still am having trouble with the bucket tool at this point. You'll see that like when I go to fill it in, it like leaves weird white spots and I had to go in and like manually cover those. I've since figured that out, but yeah, just working out the kinks there. But yeah, I kind of wanted him to be like swimming because Jasper mentioned that like on the character bio that it's a cat who loves water. So I wanted to do like an underwater scene, and I thought that would be perfect for like drawing a character floating and just focusing on anatomy. Something else I really struggle with is hands, and you can see like you can probably tell like what that hand is supposed to be doing, but it kind of looks like you can't see me, so you can't see what I'm doing, but like when people go hey, you know, put their finger up. That's what it looks like to me, and I think it's kind of cringe looking back, but yeah, I tried my best, and hey, he's got all 4 fingers, so yep. And then yeah, I'm really happy with how the shading came out, and then the water, I think I made that look really good. Okay, I struggled a lot with this drawing. This is Neros, a piebald deer, and I had to look up what a piebald deer was. And then I realized really quickly that I didn't know how to draw deers. I only know how to draw horses because of My Little Pony. And so it doesn't show all the times I erased because like the time lapse is just, I don't know what it records and what it doesn't record, but dear God, I was working on this for so long. I was like fretting and humming and hawing, and I was like, I hate art. I'm never going to do art again. I think the other tricky thing is that his character has like human-like hair but a deer face, and I don't know how to make that look good. Like, there's something about the shape of the deer's head is like so sort of flat, and then like you put hair onto something, it gives it volume, but then it doesn't look like a deer anymore, like once you give it that volume with the hair. So I didn't know what to do. So I had bigger aspirations for this drawing, and at a certain point I was like, this is just going to be a headshot. It's going to be simply colored because I don't know. I need to draw more deers apparently because I can't do that shit. But yeah, coloring it in. I'm liking how this is looking at this point. I'm like, okay, I got the coloring down. It's a simple headshot. Maybe its eyes look a little cross-eyed or bug-eyed, but at this point I'm just glad I got it done. And I ended up doing a completely lineless thing, or not completely, but like, you know, mostly lineless with this, and I really like how that turned out. I think if I revisited this drawing, I could do like a whole lot better, but yeah, it's good for experimenting or whatever. Oh, and then I did a really small amount of shading. But you'll see how it turns out. I gave him a little name and a little like doodle to try and like I felt bad. Okay, and then I did one traditional piece. This is Milo. This is Mars's character. She's like a little mouse. She's in a band and she likes singing and stuff, or singing, I think, guitar. So I get like music notes and like a little treble clef thing, and this is like traditional art, just like pencil on paper and just like minimal shading is how I normally draw. So this was like a little bit of a, after dealing with the deer situation, I just wanted to do something that was like easy for me. Like I didn't have to deal with any new tools or anything. It's just a pencil and paper. So that's Milo. And then I also did this is a combination of traditional and just like painted. So, or not painted, what the hell am I saying? Digital and traditional. So I made the sketch on paper and then I colored it and shaded it on my phone. So sorry you can't see how I drew it initially, but I don't know. I think the quality of my art is way better when I start with paper, but I really don't want it to always be like that, which is why I've been trying to sort of push myself to start digitally and to get good at those like sketching tools and formatting things digitally first instead of relying on pencil and paper. But I did pencil and paper first, and I love the way this turned out. This is Salem. This is my friend Victor's Sona. It is like the coolest character ever. I love the colors. I love the concept. I love Big Cat. I love colors. But yeah, I'm really pleased because I think the anatomy looks good and the colors look good and the shading looks good. I kind of just did everything I was satisfied with. I can't formulate a sentence. Everything I did, like every aspect of this, I'm like really satisfied with my work. So yeah. And then I wanted to do something a little bit more goofy. So this is Sydney. This is my friend Hannah's character. I wanted it to be kind of like a meme, like a reaction, whatever. So I got that picture of that little chihuahua looking at the camera, and I was like, I don't know, Sydney to me seems like the kind of guy who would be like, I'm gonna blow something up, or I'm gonna set something on fire and then like look at you about it. Like I was kind of thinking that like meme with the girl like looking back at from the fire, like hee, I set that thing on fire. So like kind of a naughty personality, and so I decided to do something like a little bit more silly. I don't know, the quality of this is not like huge, but I really like the energy of it. To me feels so fun. So I did a little bit of a different like technique here with like putting those little details with the like slightly off color. I don't know how to describe that, but I don't usually do that. Then I drew a little house on fire. Okay, this piece I'm super proud of. I don't know who this character is. I guess Optic, as it says there. Just another person I found. Yeah, just snarling dog. I spent a lot of time on this sketch. Like, I was having, like, a lot of insomnia, and I just spent literally all night on this piece. But I love the way it turned out. I think the anatomy looks amazing. The sketch looks great. I started from digital, so I'm super proud. And then I get to the shading of, like, the teeth and the ears and the ribbon, and I'm like, wow, damn, I really did that. I changed up the background a little bit later on. I really love what I came up for it, dear God. But yeah, I love the way that the mouth looks. And then I shaded it enough that I could take the lines off, which I don't know, like I was like, oh look, it kind of works, and I just went with it and I cleaned it up a little bit so it's completely lineless, completely shaded. I'm so proud of this. Like I feel like this is what I want out of digital art, like just start digitally just on my phone and be able to create something that looks this cool. I was like, yes, I made it. Not made it. I think I've been developing my skills over this month. I don't know what I'm saying. Definitely rambling. I don't know why this was taking so long. I add more eyeballs slowly, I guess. I was being a bit indecisive about how, the back of this would look, but yeah, evil, angry dog. Thinking about the lore of people's characters, I love doing, and so this character is like they said it was like a vent character, so like angsty, angry. Like usually they have the ribbon like wrapped around their snout, but like I was like, well, what if they broke free and were like rah against whatever bad guys? I don't know what people are thinking. That's just my interpretation. Okay, so next I wanted to do something a little bit like focusing more on like personality and like maybe like something you'd see like in a comic strip. So this is Freya. Yeah, I don't really know this person, but I really love that character, and she's a teacher, and so I was like, well, what if she was holding like office hours like in a classroom, and she's like talking and chatting to someone like happy, and so I wanted to make like a whole scene like plus background, which I usually don't draw like very detailed backgrounds, not that this is detailed, but I wanted it to like kind of be like a cohesive style and not like overly complicated like the last one I did, because like that one was fun but it was exhausting to make, so I wanted something a little more simple. I got a new technique going there where I can kind of make a gradient with a specific brush. I sort of figured that out in this piece, and I use it later on another piece, and so I'm really glad I did this to sort of figure out how to do that and make it look good, because I think it looks good. Yeah, gradient bodies kind of scare me, and I usually don't want to draw things that have gradients in them because I like don't know how to do it. But I think I've cracked that code now. But yeah, I really love how her face and her personality and her pose came out. I think it definitely achieved what I wanted, and I think she's super cute. So next I need to learn how to draw instruments, because then because my original idea was for her to be like playing an instrument because she's a band teacher in her lore. But yeah, I don't know. I can't draw an oboe. I don't know about that. Oboes are not in my vocabulary. I mean, I could barely draw the like cup that she's holding. I don't know why I was having such a problem with that. But hey, I think that drawing paws has definitely improved since the beginning of this month. And then this is the final piece that I did. I wanted to spend a lot of time and effort on all the different aspects: anatomy, shading, colors, starting from digital. And I think this is the piece that I'm the most proud of, and so I'm really glad that this is the last thing I ended Artfight with. Yeah, I don't really know this person, this character, but I love cats, and so I tried to... when I saw this one, she said, like, in the lore, that she likes going to the gym, and so I was like, ooh, it'd be really cool to do a pose where someone's, like, flexing or something, and I was like, cat flexing, like, mommy cat flexing, yes! So I wanted to do that. And then I really focused on trying to make those, her hands look really good, and I really, really am happy with how it turned out. I wanted to also do, like, a lineless, or not lineless, but, like, colored, line art, style, along with, like, full shading. And then you can see right there I'm using that technique that I did with Freya, on this, or... is that her name? I don't know. With the like previous artwork, I'm using that same technique to give her that gradient on her body that she has, and I think that looks super good. Super happy with that. Yeah, adding her spots. But yeah, all the gradients and stuff were really tripping me up. Like, I was just looking at those colors for so long, trying to figure out how they worked. Yeah. This is one of those things where I'm like, do I like the sketch more, or do I like the colored version better? I think both are really good. I think that the sketch one has like a little bit more personality to it, and I cannot put my finger on like why that is. I think maybe I just need to keep developing the skills of being able to render something out and put all the colors on it, make it look really good. But yeah, I'm really happy with the shading. I'm really happy with how her face looks. Like, her personality, I feel like is shining, even though the sketch I think looks a little better. I think the shading makes sense. I think her muscles look great, like the anatomy, the pose, like nothing is confusing. Yeah, and then I put her on a photo background, which isn't something I usually do, but I saw this one with the colors and I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna match up just fine. So that's it for Artfight. I wanted to do 10 pieces and I ended up with 11, so I met my goal. I'm definitely going to do this again next year. It was like insanely fun. If you are at all like artistically minded, you can do crafts, you can do like 3D modeling, you can do drawing like I did. Any of it works, and it is so fun. And I loved that, and I also received a lot of art, which was so nice. There's definitely a perk to doing it. But yeah, this is what I've been doing artistically for like the past month. Set goals for yourself. It's super rewarding. I feel so proud of myself, and in other aspects of my life, I've definitely not achieved all my goals, but like doing little things like this, little creative things, it's just so fun. 10 out of 10, Artfight awesome. I will talk to you later.